and through the end of the year, and I'm going to do a breakdown in some other areas as well, but I wanted to put this in the Patreon group, and I'm going to give you guys some prompts as well separately that you can use to kind of like tune in and tap in. I wanted to mention some of what I'm going to be sharing is stuff that you can also find in my Ideal Life course, but I wanted to bring some of the teachings and principles in here so that you guys can use them like right where you are. Okay, so first of all, September energy feels very bright, very auspicious. Again, like how energy impacts different people, where they are in their life, what they're going through. There can be astrological influences, though not always as people think, but you can also, like, we're all at different stages in our journey. So just keep that in mind, that this is kind of like take what you want, leave the rest. Take what applies to you, leave the rest, okay? It may apply to different people differently. So that said, the September energy feels really good and really bright. I am going to bring my guides in to chit chat about it a little bit more. I do have my buddy on the other side. Her name is Molly. And then I have Eric here, and they're coming through because they're like, hey, like this energy is going to be right for the picking. We want you to know that it's really always like that, but where you sit in the energy, what's going on in the collective, all of that can have some impact. But when you shift your frequency, you kind of rise above things. It doesn't mean that life doesn't still happen, but it means that you deal with life differently. So it's kind of the example of life is happening for you, not to you. I understand how ableist that sounds, but I promise you, as someone who has gone through childhood abuse and trauma, and who went through certain things like eating disorders, and I used to have really severe anxiety disorder a long time ago, like had it my whole childhood and into my 20s. Didn't think there was a different way to be. Like, I'm telling you, I've really been through the muck. I understand it's not everyone's situation, and we all have different sets of circumstances, but they want to keep reminding everyone that there are often times where life tests us and like it gets to us. And I used to really, really let life get me down too, but we can always begin to do things to take care of ourselves, to shift gears. They said, think about it like your brain is a car. Like, are you pouring sludge into the oil tank and thinking like, I deserve this, I must be a bad person? Like, they're talking about internalized shame. Or are you thinking about it like, you know what, sometimes like someone's a good person and they're doing their best, and life just hands them lemons, and we have to decide to pour good gas in the tank, change the oil, check out the brakes, like rotate the tires, fill them up with air, you know what I mean? We have to choose to clean up the car, and we have to choose to like keep things running. And they said, so a lot of this comes from initially like an ability to just kind of say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna try, like F it. Who knows what hand I'm going to be dealt, but I'm going to try anyways. I don't know how everything's going to turn out, but I'm going to try anyways. And, you know, almost like, hey, like your circumstances mean this or that, but don't let them get the best of you. Okay. So they said September is going to show that energy. September is going to highlight that energy. September is going to give a lot of people who are really like, I'm ready. They said a lot of times, Eric's like, sometimes you got to really hit like that rock bottom, or you have to get so fed up with your circumstances or yourself or the way that you're thinking and the way that you're kind of perceiving life, that people finally go, fuck it, I'm done, I'm out of it. What they're reminding me of is a situation in my life I went through where everything went really, 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 really wrong. Like, I was like, what in the is going on? And I was trying so hard to do everything right all the time, and everything, it was like the rug got ripped out from under me all at once. And I've done podcast episodes on it, so you can go and listen to that time that I spent. But they keep saying, but then it forced you into an action. And I moved halfway across the country where I just knew I needed to be next, even though it was really hard. I was lonely at times, I was scared to be on my own, but I got over my depression. I got a new job. I had just gone through a layoff. I had broken up with someone. I ended up like meeting up with like friends from college that I needed to find. And I didn't know like a lot of people when I first moved there. I got a dog, and that was really healing for me. It was like my soul dog. I started volunteering at an animal rescue. Like, I just like started using my skills differently for things I cared about, and I was really passionate about it. And I just ended up like meeting all these new friends and having a great time and being out in nature. And I went through like a complete transformation in 180. Now, I'm not saying it'll be my place forever, but it was really important. And I also had my big spiritual awakening here, or reawakening, I should say. And then I met the person who would be my son's dad. So everything started to turn around after I moved here. Like, it was, and I did a lot of healing. I had to take active part in that. And some of the healing I stumbled into, like, it was like kind of like handed to me, like I had no choice but to like walk through the fire in it. Some of it I came upon on accident, and some of it I was like very determined I have to do this, like because I got so sick of myself. Like I was like, I'm so tired of feeling this way. So they keep reminding us, they said like there is something going on as a larger collective where we're like, enough is enough. And I think I'm seeing a lot of people, it's hitting on a collective level, but it's also very individually based. And I'm seeing a lot of people being like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna try this. Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go for it. Why not? And they said, and this will be a time period where the next steps become a lot clearer, and it's a lot easier to see what you need to do, what you're passionate about. The energy will lend itself to forward momentum and forward action. So they said now it's going to be easier to find your spirit of, this is devotion. So consistent action, consistently staying after it, not letting perceived failures or mistakes get you down. It's kind of like like we'll see a lot of people shifting out of the headspace when, if they're ready, the headspace of a failure means I failed and I'm a bad person and I should just give up, to, well, you know, the only way that I failed is if I don't try again and I don't learn from my mistakes, right? We're seeing and going to see a shift in that. And for this group, I feel that there's a lot of people in here who are really ready for that. This card's been coming up a lot. It's the dark. We have been moving through a time period where we've been in the dark, and they're like, oh boy, haven't you? So with the dark, it's kind of like we're feeling our way. We've been feeling our way, but I keep seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, especially for a lot of people in this group. They keep saying September is going to feel like you can see that light. Like you're like, I'm so close. I'm so close. I know what to do. I can see where I'm going now. They said a lot of things will become crisper and clearer for people, and I'm feeling like September and October. And it's almost like, hey, lock in through the end of the year. Okay. They want you to also continue to work toward your own spiritual guidance systems, and tapping in and tuning in, because they keep saying this time of year is going to be really good for people who want to communicate with the other side, so that the energy will lend itself to that. Oh my God, I even saw like loss in the gravestones came up. But they just keep saying it is a good time for you to stay dedicated to your path and your purpose. It'll be easier to get clearer on what it is. It'll be easier to almost like fly by the seat of your pants and take those intuitive actions. Something that I teach in my Ideal Life course is tune in to your soul guides, get a feel for what do they want you to know, what do they want to show you about the next like 4 months, about the next 6 months, about the next year. Tap in with your highest and best future self. What do they want to show you and share you? It's not about predicting and trying to find out exactly what's going to happen in the future. It's about being shown that there are possibilities for things, and outcomes and ways that you're going to grow, and people that could come in your life, and all these amazing things that could change that you have not even stopped to imagine being possible, because your brain's not working that way yet. Humans are notoriously limited by our experiences and our belief systems. So when we meditate, we make space for more to come in. When we tune in, we say, I'm willing to say that there are things that I may not even know to ask for out there ready and waiting for me, okay? That I may still go through transformation. I'm seeing like the phoenix rising. So you can use this process and tune in and tap in and do a little meditation and see like, what do you guys want to show me? What could I be working toward? What would I not even think to set as a goal? Give me my soul goals. Let's download them. And these are soul goals versus just regular goals. Regular goals are more like things that you think you're supposed to be doing, things you think will make you happy, even though when you think about it, you're not any happier. When you're thinking about something, if you're not any happier thinking about it, not a goal. Not where your focus needs to be. It's really simple. If you feel no upliftment, no energy coming from it, like a lightness to it, a zest to it, an ease or like an excitement to it, it's probably not an aligned goal. It probably came from somewhere culturally, family, etc. It's not aligned for you though. So in that course, I teach about how to feel the difference. But that's like a really basic understanding of it, is if it feels heavy energetically, like damp, or like you're trying to walk through a brick wall, probably not for you. If you feel no emotion about your goal, probably not for you. And so this is often why also when people are trying to manifest, it doesn't work, because they're aiming for the wrong things in the first place, where it's like, sure they could get them, but they wouldn't be any happier. And so they would either not be any happier and be disappointed by the manifestation process, and get discouraged going forward, or they are the type of people who just like keep going for things that don't make them happy, and then they find themselves like at the end of their life like, why did I not do anything that actually made me happy, right? Or they get the thing that they think they want and it goes away right away. So you kind of have to be open-minded, and that's where the meditation practice can help you guys a lot, especially this September. They keep showing me the energy is going to lend itself to this. The other piece is you can use a daily connection process where you're tuning in with your soul guides and your highest and best future self and saying, hey, what actions do I need to be taking this week or this month? Like, you can take that larger soul goal and you can break it down month by month. Like, what do I want to aim for this month? What's the overall project? How does it feel when I'm thinking about it? And that's what's going to help you navigate the right way to go for you, which may change from one week to another, which may change from day to day, because your intuition and your soul guidance will be leading that process. So if you're about to go about things in a way that's too complicated, too sticky, too difficult, very, very can be easy to get into that with Virgo energy. It's important that you're kind of going, hold up, step back, let's tune back in. Is there a better way? Is there a better way? Sometimes that stickiness, everything going wrong, not feeling right, like it feels like you're just getting drained by trying to like figure something out or do something. It may not be that the goal is off. Sometimes it's that the way you're going about getting to it is like you are taking the difficult way, when the universe is like, come on, there's another way over here. Come on, there's an easier way. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Is also the more that you're tuning in, meditating, using your discernment, you will be able to really pick out, is it I'm aiming for the wrong thing? Is it the timing of which I'm going for it? Is it I'm doing this the wrong way? And then you can feel out different ways to do things. Your intuition may tell you next steps that seem illogical or disconnected from where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. But that doesn't mean they're not the right next steps. It just means that they're surprising. So remember, we're trying to get out of, here's how I always do it. Here's what logically is available. Your logic doesn't know everything. And the more that you listen to your soul guides and your inner voice, your intuition, the more logical it will feel to do it. And the more comfortable you'll get with doing things without knowing why you're doing them, and understanding like, wow, this really did lead me to where I wanted to get to go, but without trying. So I wanted to give you an example of this that I think is like a perfect example. So there was this gal, and she, for example, she wanted to make money, and I'm getting a lot of money in the air around people. So I want to bring this up. I feel like money is a very Virgo thing too. And so 'tis the season. So she was like really concerned about money. She had debt hanging over her head. She's one of those people that she's just like, I just need to get rid of this. I don't like how this feels. It's really draining me. I can't shift my mindset about it, etc. So she sat down and she did some practices where she tapped in energetically around, her coach said like, what's like a number you would never even think about making in a week? And she said like $5,000. And her coach said, okay, let's double it. And her coach moved her through, and this is the type of coaching I used to do all the time with people. It's like my favorite type of coaching to do, by the way. So she actually sat down and she tapped in and she did all the energetic work. So not just Reiki, not just expanding your energy, though those are great practices to do too. She actually said, what's the money exactly for? How's it going to feel receiving it? I want to receive it in ways that feel like high integrity, that feel good for me. And she's like a great person. So her having more money, she's going to do good things with it, right? Like money isn't bad in itself. It makes you more of what you already are. If you're already a person of low integrity, having money will give you resources to do low integrity things with. But if you're a higher integrity person, you're going to have money and resources to do good things in the world with, right? So it's almost like a good way to like shift the mindset around receiving. So she did a lot of that work. She also wrote down, different ideas and ways for that money to come in. At the time, she helped people with book proposals and writing courses and stuff like that, like helped like budding authors and stuff. And so she said, well, I could sell a couple like people my course and this is how much it is. And she did like the math on it, right? So her willingness was there. She's like, here's some things that would feel good for me to offer services or to help people with or to create that would make people happy and help them or whatever it is. And it would feel good for me to receive that money in this way, right? So it was a good match energetically. Now, this is the cool part on this, like, right? Like, so like talk about intuition. So she writes down all these ways and then she just sits back and she has this moment of like a download. And a man that she had done some work for book proposal wise a long time ago pops into her head. And she had this like thought of, wonder if I could offer him like a life coaching package. Mind you, she didn't offer life coaching yet, but people were always coming to her, asking her for advice on different situations in their lives because they liked her perspectives on their lives. She had just never even thought to offer that to people as a service. But she has a really fun, like spunky, unique way of talking about things. And not a minute after he popped into her head, he had sent her an email. And he said, hey, here's what I need. Do you do any life coaching services nowadays? I just felt to reach out to you and I really liked working together. What do you have available? And she was like, so she basically had to create this on the spot. And she said, yeah, we can do 6 months of life coaching for $12,000. So she had brainstormed all these ways. She had done the energetic work. She had been willing to put in her part, right? And with the universe, she had been getting into creative mode. She had been getting the energy aligned. She had never made this much money this fast before, but she was like, I just have to get this bill completely paid off. I don't have a choice, right? There was just like no other way to go about it in her mind. And so all of a sudden the universe provided someone. And so she didn't even need the full week to get that $10,000 coming in. She had this amazing client that she loved working with who came in, and all of a sudden she had $12,000 within 72 hours. So it goes to kind of remind you that like when we put in that our work and our side of things, and we're willing to expand and we're willing to tune in and tap in, and we're willing to go, what else, like what else is possible, and we're willing, like she was willing to like say like, here's what I'm willing to do for this, but let's see what else is available too, what else might surprise us. She picked up on him emailing her right before he was going to email her, and she did all the energetic work just in time for him to reach out to her, and it may have even prompted him to reach out to her. Who knows if it's the chicken or the egg? We don't need to know that part, right? But just goes to show you, like, we don't always know how things are going to work out. But we just have to kind of do the energetic work to see that they will. And this month and this time of year, like through the end of the year, is going to be great for this type of stuff. Really, really good for tangible next steps, opening the energy, a little bit of a twist of fate and surprise and delight. And I just keep getting over and over, like, tell them, because it is such a good point in time where you can begin to do these types of things and allow in ways for things to work out that you have not even thought of before. So that is something that I want to be teaching a little bit more in these groups. And I also have I've been thinking about running a course on this stuff, but I do have the Ideal Life course. I've been thinking about teaching it live and doing like a 6-week version or like a month-long version. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. I think that would be really fun to do live and like teach the practices, even like a week-long type of like workshop or something like that. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, the September energy will definitely lend itself to next steps coming in more easily, to breaking things down into more tangible, intuitive action, to really seeing like, here's, you know what, damn it, here's what I want to try. Remember, you can go outside of your logic and what you think is possible and start to go, you know what, here's what I really want. Here's what really feels right. Here's what really like is like lighting that fire. So that spark, and those things that you're really, really passionate about, that you're really excited about, that just suddenly feel right for no logical reason. Those things can work out. And I really believe they can happen at any time, but my guides have been showing me the energy is faster moving, that there's auspicious timing happening, and they want us to stay in our groove, right? And so they're like, it's going to be really, really helpful for a lot of you guys to make sure that you're not pressing forward, you're more allowing information and intel to come in at this time too. Also, I wanted to mention this too because it is connected, but it kind of might be a little bit of an aside. But in a TikTok video that I did this morning for September 1st, I've been hearing the song Party in the Street and Celebrate, and I've also been seeing people like out in the street partying, cheersing, celebrating something, and I kept getting the feeling of this being a really, really big time. I don't know when this is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen in September. I don't know if it's going to be like later. I'm not really fully sure exactly what they're alluding to. I have my suspicions, but it might be something different as well. But I wanted to mention that because that's been coming up a lot, like a lot. And I do think it lends itself to the auspicious timing that they keep trying to like show us, and they keep saying, we want you all to like get ready and be prepared. They said get the champagne chilling. Okay, so again, I'm not sure exactly what this is alluding to or like what they're trying to convey here. I'm not gonna fill in too many gaps, but I wanted to mention that as well. And I think that we're going to have a lot of like possibility for the turnaround to happen collectively and individually. But just remember, you do not need to sit like a sitting duck waiting. Okay. It's okay for you to start to take actions forward. The energy will really lend itself to this. And they said for some of you, it's going to take a little bit of courage. But remember, once you take that first leap of faith, often that's just like, here we go. Like, it's almost like you rip the band-aid off and it's not so hard anymore. Again, like, I think a lot of people are getting to the point where they're just so sick of things or so sick of their life or so sick of themselves that they're almost like, fuck it, I'm going for it. That is going to be really, 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 really helpful. It's also going to be a good time to like break the mold, break your norm. This is the card of rebellion. See how she's like trapped in this little thing. She's outgrown this. This is clearly too small for her. So this is going to be a good time for you to break through and kind of like say, you know what, I know that this is all that I thought was possible for me, but I know that there's more. It's a good time to tap in and really receive. Like, think about your brain, not like you have to rely on just what you know, but more so you're a receiver for divine insights, intuitions, callings from the universe. So if you're getting ideas and inspirations about things, when you meditate, you make yourself more available to that. And when you get those ideas, intuitions, inspired ideas, downloads, etc., like when you have the larger vision start to pop into your mind, it's because part of the collective is calling for it. They need it. And if you're a receiver, then you can be one of the people to bring that to life for them. So for a lot of you that are thinking about starting businesses or thinking about having a side business or a side hustle or changing something societally, like a cause-related thing, starting a nonprofit, writing a book, writing a screenplay, creating art, whatever it is, creating a community space, etc. Just know that whatever downloads you're getting right now, whatever you're seeing as like things like that you could be creating or doing where it's really lit a fire under you, it's because there's people who need it. So don't hold yourselves back from it right now, okay? The other thing I'm feeling really strongly right now, I feel like the group should know, is it feels like there's a little bit of like a superpower being revealed. I think a lot of people are going to be seeing this more and more and feeling it more and more. Intuition is the tip of the iceberg. It's like step one, seeing signs and synchronicities, getting lined up. Again, tip of the iceberg, step one. There's so much more going on beyond that stuff. That's just the stuff we tend to start with. And I tend to be here for people who are in that starting mode with it. But what we really get into is channeling, because channeling is not just like, oh, I have intuitions about this. Channeling is like, I got up and I just wrote a whole book in a week. Like every morning at 3 a.m. I couldn't stop writing and I just knew it like all had to come out. Channeling is like when you are an open portal for something bigger to come through, whether it's art or knowing the exact medical procedure to do as a doctor at exactly the right time. And even if you're like, I just know, and something like taking over and you do it perfectly and it's like divinely guided and right there. I've definitely heard stories about this from the medical community. A lot of them are mediums and psychics. Like they have intense medical intuition. It's like they were guided to those fields so that they could have a place for their medical intuition to go and work. But like maybe you're writing a book, maybe you are starting a new practice, maybe you are starting a new business, opening a new business. Really follow what your calling and flow is telling you, but stay nimble. So stay flexible on how you execute things. Let the energy work through you. That's what channeling truly, truly is. Now there's verbal channeling like what I'm doing, but there's so many different ways to channel: through the hands, through the heart, through the body. A lot of athletes are like full body channeling when they get into their flow. So if you've ever heard of like runner's high, like that's a form of channeling higher energy. So we're designed to work this way. Like, so when you're tapping into it, there's nothing crazy about it. There's nothing weird about it. You're designed to work this way. And I just keep seeing beyond that, there will be even more abilities, skills, and talents that will be revealed through your channeling ability. And so this is like a time period where I'm seeing certain people, especially people drawn to psychics, mediums, spiritual stuff, physics, like quantum physics, things like that, laws of the universe, etc. Like, if you're getting drawn to that, it's because you know that there's something waiting for you. So I just get the feeling of like, it's like to tell people here, it's likely been revealed to you throughout the course of your life. It's been bubbling like underneath the surface, but you may not have just known that you could tap into it. Or if you did, maybe you did tap into it or did use it a couple times, but it freaked you out or freaked other people out, or you forgot about it. So it's like lying dormant. Doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean it's not there. Okay. So there is so much more like coming online. Also like the card book. So if anyone's writing, let those like senses open so that you can write. Okay. You have got this. There is so much more wonderful things coming for you guys this month. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting couple of months here. I won't give like a ton of predictions on that because I staying in creative energy, co-creative energy is a much higher frequency than predict. The irony of which, when you're staying in higher creative frequency, you can predict things, but it's very, very interesting how the energy's been changing collectively, is lending itself to more and more of co-creatorness, which means predictions are harder to get. They're not never, but so many of us are kind of like taking our lives, you know, by the horns, for lack of a better way of saying it, that predictions are starting to shift and change because you're changing, which is a really great thing for a lot of people. So anyhow, I hope that this is helpful for someone and will be helpful for the September energy. I will do like a separate thing with some little prompts to help some of you guys. I also have some really cool things coming out that are actually like print. That you guys will be able to order. One is going to, well, I won't get into all the details, but they're going to help you with creative breakthroughs, getting unstuck, and then tapping into intuition and your mediumship abilities, and actually like being able to write down and track what you're receiving and stuff like that. So really fun, some little print products. I am really excited about them. They've been on my heart for a long time. I felt very inspired around them. So I'm excited to get those things up and rolling. You guys will be the first ones to get to take a look at them, and then I will post some little like links and stuff like that that are just for the group first before I put them out in the public. So yeah, I hope that you guys will check those out when they come live, and we should look for them probably by the end of the month at latest. And yeah, I hope this is helpful. If you have comments about anything, questions about anything, feel free to pop them in the comments on this video. Okay, bye everyone.